11 of the most frustrating video games of all time. No matter how good you are at video games, there's always that one game that makes you want to go mad and break your monitor and system. As of the last decade, major video game studios have moved towards toning down the difficulty in order to give a smooth experience to as wide a range of players as possible. Nowadays, if you really want a challenge in beating a game, you have to select the bloodthirsty mode or unbeatable mode, or any name variation that indicates you're gonna die a lot. Hello, and welcome to Info Junkie TV, where you can always be sure to find mind-blowing videos that show you everything that's out of the ordinary. Our aim is to bring you the most thrilling facts, everything interesting and rare that we find in this world of ours. In this video, we'll be taking a look at the top 11 most frustrating games ever made. Better get your stress ball ready, because this is gonna get stressful. And we can't wait till you get to number 1, where the stress is actually coupled with very limited control over your character. Number 11, In the Groove. Instead of sitting down all day mashing buttons on a controller, In the Groove requires you to step on a panel with 4 arrows and match the arrows that show up on the screen. While this idea might sound mind-numbingly easy on the lower levels, it gets progressively harder in the later ones. The game is in league with other dance-related games like Just Dance and Dance Dance Revolution, but it turns it up a notch, challenging players to do some insane moves in the shortest amount of time. Some of the game's tracks on the X difficulty require movements that even the most fit and agile among us might find insanely difficult to follow through. Now wait till we get to number 1 for real difficulty talk. Number 10, Takeshi's Challenge. Originally planned as an 8-bit version of his TV show Takeshi's Castle, Japanese actor and director Takeshi Kitano instead got hands-on with Takeshi no Chosenyo and created a game unlike any other. One whose packaging warned that conventional gaming skills do not apply. The game's difficulty lies in not knowing what is going on. There is little to no indication as to where you're going or progressing, and what's the next objective. Loosely following a salaryman who dreams of finding treasure, Takeshi's Challenge serves up a game over for innocuous mistakes, like not quitting the character's job, failing to divorce his wife, or not hitting the right people. You can get a game over on the password screen. Another challenge requires you to leave the controller untouched for an hour. All games are arbitrary. Only Takeshi's Challenge glorifies that fact. Number 9, Trials Fusion. For a good while, this side-scrolling motorcycling game feels like a meditative experience. And then, the difficulty curve suddenly shoots straight for the heavens. It is then that the game reveals its true form, a nightmarish physics conundrum dressed as a driving game. Just how do you get over that vertical wall? How many degrees of rotation are needed to land on that upside-down ramp? The answer is honing the skill of trial and error, with extreme attention given to the bike's suspension and weight. A skill that only a handful of players have mastered enough to have aced the game's closing stages. Number 8, Mushihimisama. If any game genre is most synonymous with difficulty, it is the arcade 2D shoot-'em-up, known today as the shmup. And it is developer Cave that pushes devotees of the form like no other. Which Cave game is the hardest is highly subjective, but in terms of undiluted difficulty, the insect-themed Mushihimisama's infamous Ultra mode might take it. There's less of the mechanical intricacy that makes other releases by the studio perhaps as demanding, but through the sheer number of bullets that fill the screen, Mushi Ultra delivers an onslaught that is as bewildering to watch as it is demeaning to play. Number 7, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Given that it came from the developers of Dark Souls, we shouldn't really be surprised that Sekiro made it onto the list. The bosses here are just as unforgiving as their Dark Souls counterparts, and this time it's all about learning to break their postures so you can get that brutal finishing blow in before they recover. It's tough, but the sheer euphoria you feel when you finally pull it off is worth a lot of the pain. The game also includes exclusive items that once used, you have to transport via Buddha where you found them and buy them again. Some bosses also require you to kill them multiple times before you deliver them the final blow and move ahead in the game. Difficulty aside, the game is also beautiful to look at, featuring a fantastical interpretation of Sengoku-era Japan. Number 6, Ninja Gaiden. Let's be real, the original NES version of Ninja Gaiden was pretty damn difficult as it is. But the 2004 3D reboot of the original 2D classic opened up even more possibilities for truly brutal gameplay. making it even more difficult to beat some of the easiest bosses of the original game. Almost all enemies in the game from the very first battle are more than capable of destroying you if you're not careful, and the bosses are just downright savage, some requiring absolutely perfect play for an extended amount of time if you want to move on. If you thought this was frustrating, wait till you get to number 1. Number 5. Contra. If you were born in the 80s, then you'd probably know what Contra is, and are having some dreadful flashbacks. Contra is one of those run-and-gun games where, simply put, you just run forward and shoot stuff. The game was produced by Konami and was made to look like the movie Rambo, that was also successful around that time. The game gives you 3 hearts. Once they're depleted, you lose, and repeat the game all over again. The game's frustrating moments come from its limited mechanics, leaving you with limited movements and actions. On top of that, the enemies just shoot randomly from all directions. Contra is dubbed as one of the first Konami games that use the now famous up, up, down, down, left, left BA start code that gives you an extra 30 lives. But even with all that extra boost, you still won't make it to the final boss. Number 4. Getting Over It. Easily the most annoying game that we have in this list, but still isn't as annoying as number 1. In Getting Over It, you don't die. Oh, I see you sighing of relief over there. Well, don't be too happy yet. The game's goal is to reach the top of the map in one sitting. Yes, you heard that correctly. While that does sound fairly simple, it's not as easy as stealing candy from a child. You play as a hammer-wielding man stuck in a huge cauldron that moves his hammer upwards on objects to get higher. The game's sensitivity towards the grip is its hardest. You make any small mistake, you fall all the way down to the place you started from. You grip or ledge on something the wrong way, you fall. You swing too fast or slow, you fall. There's only a handful of people that have finished the game and aren't exactly proud of it. The game requires a lot of patience to help you really get over it. The game's popularity spawned several similarly themed games such as Just Arms and Golfing Over It. Number 3. Super Meat Boy. Released for the first time on PC and Mac in 2008, Super Meat Boy was quickly hailed as one of the hardest games of all time. You play as a bolt-like object that has to evade all obstacles and meet your beloved girlfriend on the other side. And while that sounds really simple, that's where the difficulty comes from. The game's also loaded with tantalizing buzzsaws that makes it all too tiresome to evade all of them, leading you to scream in agony whenever you come across one. The control in the game is really what makes the game so hard, because you have to be really accurate with your movements and where you land. If you're 1 second late in reacting with any object, you die and repeat the whole game from the beginning. That's why you have to be really timely with your jumps so that you won't fall in and die. The game has no checkpoints. You die, you repeat all the way from the beginning. And if that isn't annoying enough, after you successfully finish the game without ripping your hair out, the game shows a montage of all your failed attempts, just to spite you even more and show you how much of a failed human being you really are. If you're suffering from a lack of patience, then we really recommend playing this game as we think it will surely fix it. But you might want to buy a spare TV and controller because you might break the one you have now. Number 2. Dark Souls. Regarded as one of the hardest modern games, Dark Souls' notoriety comes from its difficulty. You can't adjust the difficulty level of the game. It's a unified difficulty for every gamer. Dark Souls is one of those games that boils and raises your blood pressure from how frustrating it is. You get hit by the dumbest things, and your attacks almost leave the enemy unharmed. It's an open world game that has no map or a particular destination. There are even places that are unique to each player, with some being shared on YouTube to show places that they've never seen before. Dark Souls requires its gamers to play it a lot, so that they can get familiar with the idea of dying, as that will happen quite a lot in your playthrough. The game also makes you fight in really weird places, be it bridges, building ledges, stairs. The final bosses tend to be way stronger than you and have the tendency to shapeshift. They might increase their size or ability midway through the fight. The game also has a sick, subtle sense of humor that is shown with a "You die" text that happens on screen whenever you're dead. Funny enough, the text has been used as a meme format recently. Before we reveal our top pick, we'd like to give a shout out to some games that didn't make the list but are still worth taking a look at. Number 1. Ghouls and Ghosts. Who hasn't heard about this game? Easily one of Capcom's most memorable games. You play as the courageous knight Arthur that's trying to save his beloved princess against ghouls and ghosts. What makes this the first in our list is its limited control of the character. If you make a mistake while evading an attacking enemy, you're done for. Arthur also has 2 lives. The first brings him down to his underpants, the second kills him. Unpredictable enemies spawn everywhere, power-ups can be traps, and most players never see past the first stage. The game's items also make no sense, as collecting them won't benefit you in any way. Just a way for the game's designer to flex his drawing skills. To make it even better, when you battle the final boss and win, the game screen reads a message that tells you it was all a figment of his imagination, and that there is no princess, and you have to repeat the game in a higher difficulty level to save the princess. Ouch! And there you have it, 11 of our most frustrating games of all time. From side-scrolling games such as Ghouls and Goblins, to dancing games such as In the Groove, to platform games such as Getting Over It. Video games prove that you can face difficulty with pretty much any genre. Do you agree with our list? Write us down below in the comments section about what games we missed, and what games made you go berserk and break your controller or screen. As always, thanks for tuning in to Info Junkie TV and watching our video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. And make sure you turn on the notifications bell. We'll see you in the next video.